Good morning, good evening, good afternoon from here in Spain. Nice, no wind today. Right, speaking of trolls, let's talk about this woman called Narinda Kerr. Personally, I've never heard of this woman before, but that's only because I haven't lived in the United Kingdom in the last 14 years. I understand, I've looked her up. She was on Big Brother. Wow, accolades. And she presents on Good Morning Britain now, does she? Is that the same show that fired Piers Morgan for saying, quite right, that was his right to say, I don't believe Meghan Markle? He said that about the misrememberer. Is it right that this Narinda Kerr is a presenter on Good Morning Britain? I also understand that she's a big defender of Meghan Markle. Well, I really don't know why the world is so surprised at that really nasty tweet that she made about Catherine, asking, is she a smoker? Why does she look so old at the age of 42? And yes, I've seen the supposed apology video where she doubles down on it, basically. She is a troll. But I'll give the woman one thing. She did it in her real name, so everybody knows she's a troll. And in her video, she not only seemed shocked and deeply affected at the backlash, she was angry with the crowd. Now, this is the problem, you see, but I think a lot of people are starting to get the picture, people who troll, which the majority of people don't, actually. It's a very sad few that do this sort of practice these days. She's beginning to realise stuff like that is not popular. Don't talk shit like that. So anybody out there going through a cancer journey, anybody, and they are all different journeys because there are all different types of cancer, all different types of treatment. Every individual is different. As we discovered going through our particular path with the doctors, frequently we talked about how it's not an exact science. And people say, you know, why don't they have a cure for cancer these days? Well, the answer is because each individual human being is very different. So they can find methods that generally work to some percentage based on the data that they have. But it's a really complicated subject. So for some woman to just tweet shit like that out and accuse Catherine of being a smoker, which we all know she isn't. But even if she was, you cheeky, cheeky bitch, how dare you tweet something like that? And yeah, I'm saying this as Fiona, on camera, to you, Narinda. You are a nasty, nasty bitch. It, of course, really hits my rage vein particularly, and I'm sure anyone else who's going through cancer, and then she tries to qualify it by saying her brother had cancer and died of it. That is tragic. Then she should know better than to say such stupid things. My brother-in-law, bless him, he had cancer for 24 years and it was really bad. It was actually pancreatic. And he was like a Guinness Book of Records world breaker, because that can be like curtains. It's really, really difficult. And they're born-again Christians, him and my sister. And so there were lots of prayer groups and stuff like that, which they attributed it to, and it was miraculous. I mean, he was in medical journals. But his 24-year journey was full of agony, lots of operations, lots of treatment, lots of complications. A completely different journey to, for example, my mother, or Graham's mother, or Graham himself. Every cancer journey is different. How dare this woman just minimise even the subject of cancer? And also, when people have cancer, they lose their confidence. And being a member of the most famous family in the world, the Windsors, Catherine is on a world stage. Oh, good grief. Has this woman got any idea how much courage it takes Catherine every time she has to go public? She knows she's going to be filmed, photographed, scrutinised. How self-conscious do you think she would be, Narinda, you nasty bitch? You saying something like that? that's going to knock her confidence, as if her confidence hasn't already been knocked. But as I say, why is the world surprised? Meghan Markle fans, Meghan Markle friends, Meghan Markle defenders. Nothing's off limits. You go there. Attack a pensioner in Wales, attack cancer patients. It's the norm. And then can you see why I think it was my last video or video before, why I find the gall of that woman to say kindfulness and mindfulness and compassionateness online. Is this woman been fired from Good Morning Britain, or is she just an occasional guest on there? Now, I'm not one for cancel culture, but that bitch needs to get off the TV. Just get off the TV, because you've just displayed yourself. I suppose, yes, I will give her a little brownie point for doing it in her own name. Because this Durham idiot, not from Durham, that's her name, this Leeds cretin that's up in court for tweeting shit on Twitter, did it in a fake name, Oliver Cromwell, and a whole host of other fake troll names. So she knew what she was doing and saying was wrong. I don't care what she says. If she really had conviction and stood by all the crap she said, she would have said it in her own name. Same with the others. The guy that's been arrested in Gloucester didn't use his own name. To this day, we don't know his real identity. Police do, but we don't know because he hasn't been charged yet. When he's charged, then everybody's going to find out who he is, and he'll have to live by all of his behaviour. Oh, the idiot in Leeds is now trying to say, oh, I never said anything about their daughter. Oh, I never said anything about Graham. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. Oh, bad luck. So anyone out there who's still trolling successfully in an anonymous name, your time is coming. Because apart from getting arrested, I have always believed that there will come a time on the internet when everybody's real identity will be revealed. There'll be some kind of software one day, and they'll match it all up with all the different usernames on all the different platforms, and bingo, and then everybody will know. That's one of the reasons, since I've been on the internet, that I use my own name. Because this is how I talk to people in real life. If I think someone's an idiot, I'll tell them to their face if they've pushed my button a lot. I don't, generally go up to people calling them idiots. They've got to really piss me off. Most of the time, I'm totally polite to everybody, and I'm very careful what I say around people. But, wow, makes you wonder how many of these troll accounts might have celebrities behind them, doesn't it? I mean, another one, Denise Welsh. You've all heard me talk about Denise before. You all know I am not a fan of Denise. She just, no matter what Meghan and Harry do, she will defend them. And I think she does this because she loved Princess Diana and she thinks that's what Diana would want. Trust me, Denise, it's not. Now, Denise has had her own problems. She's had a troll, and I do sympathise with her. I mean, this guy, my goodness, he looks like something out of The Living Dead. He's a terrifying looking guy. I can't imagine what Denise and her family have been through. So you'd think she would understand and sympathise with what the royal family go through all the time. But no, oh no, they're fair game. I can't tell you how angry and appalled I am at this woman. I didn't even know about this actually, really, until this morning. And I'm like, who said what? When? Why? And then tries to defend it. No, you need to disappear, Narinda, from the television. Just go and live your life peacefully in private. No one's interested in this. You have just displayed yourself as the biggest bitch on planet Earth. Worse than Markle. Because Markle is the one who set this whole thing off, wasn't she? What about all the stuff that Catherine had to go through earlier this year? Where's Kate? And all that crap. You don't think the woman's been through enough? And on Remembrance Sunday as well, apparently she tweeted this, of all days of the year. You sick, sick, filthy, nasty little troll. That's what you are, Narinda. You are a troll. And you deserve all the backlash you get. You deserve everything you get. Tell you what, Narinda, why don't you go out and find some kittens and see if you can drown them live on your Twitter feed? Or why don't you get some puppies and stamp on their heads? Or kick the shit out of some babies? Same effect, Narinda. Same effect. Picking on someone who's got cancer. Wow, you nasty, nasty, evil cow. Well, moving on to someone who's not quite as bad, but Tina Brown. Oh my God. I read her book, well, some of it, says that Prince William is surrounded by sycophants and that he needs Harry to ground him. Tina, you're a pillock if you genuinely believe that. You are a pillock with a capital P. Anyone not from the UK doesn't know what pillock means? Google it. Right, in the meantime, I'm off to get some tea bags in a minute because we've got everything except tea bags, and I'll show you where we're up to on the boat since we spoke last. So I have now completed the entire roof here, which was a bit more difficult actually than I expected. I really didn't think it was going to be quite that bad. I've got to be careful because the deck is now very slippery because I've removed all the rubber, which was the anti-slip. Now these 3 windows, they're all taped up and ready to go for their final gel coat to go on. That will happen later today, but we've got condensation and stuff, so it's quite damp. And the big job I did yesterday was I took all the rubber off this deck, and that was a lot. Aeroplane, British Airways, on time. Thank you. That was a lot. It was a lot more than I thought. I mean, it was years ago I put it down. It worked great. It was a great anti-slip effect. Oh, I'd forgotten how heavy it was. And I cut it up into what I thought were quite small sections. And each piece was really heavy to carry down to the back of the boat. I ended up with, we went to the chinos. I bought a big roll of those kind of bin liners that are so big. They're like body bags. And I had 6 of them. It wouldn't fit on the trolley, and I dragged each and every one to the car, hoisted it into the boot, took it to the main bins and disposed of it last night. Also got rid of Benji's motorbike wheels, Benji's exhaust. Speaking of Benji, so we're both exhausted after that yesterday. We get a knock at the door at 7:55 this morning after both phones had been ringing frantically, and I just thought, whoever you are, fuck off. It's far too early in the morning. Anyway, boom, 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 I'm back, but only for 2 minutes before he flies back to Geneva. He came back for a very specific purpose. Turned up, I said, what do you think of the boat? He went, yeah, it looks great. Have I had any deliveries? Straight to his parcels. I said, are you not impressed with the boat? So I went back to I had to get some more stuff for him out of the car, chatting to him and his mate. And I said to his mate, what do you think of the boat? Because they can see it from the car park. He went, it's great, what have you done to it? And Benji goes, oh, she's making a spiral staircase. His mate goes, no way, spiral staircase. That is so cool. I thought, of all the things that I'm doing on the boat, that's what you're interested in? Like Mr. Bond, our friend, when I showed him those windows, he wasn't impressed with my fiberglassing at all. He wanted to know how I got the window tint on the inside so well. Priorities of these people. So anyway, I'm getting on with when it's all dried out, if the sun comes out today. Oh yes, I wanted to also say, because Ben and his friend drove through Valencia last night, there's a lady who's been emailing me and urging me to say, if anybody is going to Spain, if anybody's flying to Spain, could you take an extra pair of Wellington boots and send them to a charity in Valencia? I'll try and find a link. It's something on Facebook, and I don't do Facebook. I've got a Facebook account, but I don't have the app on my phone. But Benji and his mate said it is apocalyptic. They were horrified, actually. They had no idea. And I said to them, you know, I had no idea, because we get deluges of rain down here. We get flooding big time down here. And I said to them, I assumed it was like what we get, biblical rain. And they said the same. They said, yeah, when we heard it on the news, we thought the same. You know, maybe they don't get it as bad as we do down here on the Strait. But he was like, Mum, my God, you wouldn't believe it. They went past a showroom full of, these fancy big boats. All the windows smashed, all the boats smashed, boats just stacked up on a pile. And they said that it was quite high, it was quite far from sea level. So, and of course they've had dams break and stuff, so super, super fucking bad. And of course in the build up to Christmas, and they said it was raining when they came through. So they're getting localised rain there, because they reckoned it hadn't been raining in France. Anyway, God bless them, because it's not long to go till Christmas, and although Spain is a hot country and Valencia is a hot area, we're not designed for hot weather down here. The houses generally don't have cavities, so they can be quite cold. And obviously the majority of the year we're so hot that when the winter does come, to us it's like the Arctic. People laugh at us here in Spain, you know, you're you crybabies, but when you live here all the time and the temperature drops to sort of 10 degrees and sometimes 4 degrees. I think one time it went to 1 degree here in La Linea. That was a couple of Christmases ago, and we got sleet. And then we flew to the UK, and I was saying to someone, we've had sleet, and the UK had, you know, droves and droves of snow. And he went, oh, you've had sleet, have you? You know, like I was showing off. And I thought, well, you know, we're just off Africa. I think sleet in La Linea, that's got to be a Guinness Book of Record type thing. So that was that was a pinchy old Christmas, that one. So God bless those people in Valencia. God knows how they're coping. We don't have any Wellington boots. I mean, it's not something generally in Spain that's a big seller. I mean, I'm sure you can get them, but I mean, I don't see them that often in the shops. I should imagine, and apparently it's for the volunteers. You know, it gets really muddy here in Spain. Anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions for the day. Narinda, I hope you have a bloody miserable day, and then just get off the telly and go and live your life quietly somewhere, you nasty bitch. Thank you, everybody else, for listening. As always, I look forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions.